What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here. We're back, and I wanted to make a quick video for you guys to kind of explain crafting and how it works in the game. So, in Anthem, there are two ways, well, as far as I know, two ways for you to get your hands on weapons. One of which is by getting them as droppable loot when you defeat an enemy or a boss or whatnot in the strongholds and missions and whatnot. I'm sure there is some sort of reward system as well when you complete a mission. Maybe you'll get a specific blueprint tied to that mission. But there is a series of challenges in the game which allow you to get your hands on very specific blueprints. And as an early game player, that's some of the stuff you'll actually be trying to go after in order to secure yourself new weapons, especially when you're trying to round out your javelin. Let's say you have 5 different slots for you to put your weapons and skills in. If 3 or 4 of them are, like, say, rare items, but you have that other slot that's like a regular common or uncommon or something like that, you kind of want to balance it out and get a item for that slot in order to kind of keep your javelin level up. So we'll kind of go over how to craft weapons in the game and how to actually go about getting those blueprints. So first of all, in the when it comes to the challenge section on your controller, it is either going to be the back button on the Xbox, or it's going to be, I believe, the options button on PlayStation. On keyboard, I believe it is also the escape key. But you're going to jump in here and go over to where it says challenges, and then once you've played the game past the tutorial, and then they give you the free play mode to go out and do. There is a mission in that free play mode which requires you to go out and get 3 embers in order to spark up the forge. Once you've completed that mission, you will have the ability to start crafting weapons. But of course, you need those blueprints in order to do that first. In this challenges area, this is how you're going to get some of those blueprints. In weapons, you're going to find yourself with the different categories, and in these categories you're going to find the different weapons you can equip. Now, I've already done the Defender 1 challenge, which has unlocked the uncommon blueprint for the Defender assault rifle. If I wanted to, say, go after the Hammerhead next, I would have to complete this Hammerhead 1 challenge, which requires me to defeat 50 enemies with the Hammerhead. So you do start out with some of the basic default weapons in the game. You can also encounter some of these very, very early on in the game in order to get your hands on, say, like a common Hammerhead in order to use to create or to do this challenge. But for instance, like I said, I've already done the Defender, which you can see down here in the completed challenges, and I have unlocked that uncommon blueprint. We'll take a look at actually crafting that weapon here in just a moment. But say you were trying to get your hands on one of the sniper rifles, and you have acquired, say, the Whirlwind sniper rifle. You would then equip it, go out in the world, and take down 50 enemies, once again, in order to get that blueprint. You can do that for any weapon in the game. Now, when I was playing the beta, I did notice that there are, let's say I did the Defender 1. There are challenges for Defender 2 to get your hands on the rare or the epic or whatever, the more rare blueprints. However, I have not seen that in the game yet because I believe it is locked behind progression. I think you're either going to have to beat a certain mission at a certain point or get your Javelin or your Freelancer level up to a certain level before they give you access to level 2 challenges. So that's something to keep in mind. But for the most part, any weapons you want, you come in here after you've completed that tutorial mission in the free play, and you can start pinpointing which weapons you want to use. For instance, I'm liking the Relentless Light Machine Gun that I played with in the beta. That is going to be a weapon I try out here very, very soon. I try and go after. But, like I said, I just got done using the Defender, so I'm going to move on to a Light Machine Gun. The same thing goes for, if you see here, gear. Gear is tied to your javelins, and your javelins have certain skills, and by equipping your javelins with those individual components and skills and whatnot, you can obviously, set yourself up for a certain build. Now, let's say you chose the Ranger when you first started, and you have, for instance, I actually already did the blast missile and the frag grenade. I've already done these two because I've been playing a lot with the Ranger. But let's say you want to try and get an Inferno grenade, let's say. Well, you're going to have to get yourself the Inferno grenade, the very base, common version of the Inferno grenade, equip it to your Javelin, and then go out and complete 4 missions or world events. So really not that bad. You go out there, you take these down, you end up with that uncommon grenade. So eventually, like I said, these also have a challenge level 2, but I'm assuming they're locked behind progression, so we'll have to find out about that. A lot of these other challenges are very, very rewarding. For instance, a lot of them give you coins. If you wanted to jump into, say, combat, and you wanted to do Ultimate Master, which will allow you to get a blueprint or sigil that ties to your ultimate after you defeat 100 enemies. There are other very basic ones, such as the dailies. You do the dailies; those will give you coins or resources. And exploration. Say you explore all of a certain location, you do all or find all the writings or whatever; those will give you coins. Whatever. That doesn't really pertain to weapons. However, just know that you have to check out each challenge to know what those rewards are. Specifically, for crafting components, you'll see a lot of those in gear, weapons, and combat, and I believe Javelin. There are... Actually, no. This is where when you level up your Javelin, you'll get coins as long as you complete missions with those Javelins. Anyways, so browse those challenges for what you need. Now, when it comes to crafting these individual weapons, you're going to want to come into your forge. You can also do it over in the arsenal, but if, let's say, you are building your frame, right now I have this little war machine design, very basic setup for early game player. But, for instance, grenade. I have a frag grenade which I crafted, which you can do. Let's say, for instance, like I was saying, I did just do the defender. So let's say I want a better defender. I like the defender and I want a better defender. Well, you can, obviously, if you get one by drops out in the world, you could use that. But let's say you didn't. Let's say all your other gear is good and you want a defender to kind of bring up your rank. You then can come in over here on your crafting section and then come down to the blueprint you have. So for instance, the defender, you can see this one is green because I have the capability of unlocking the uncommon, or building an uncommon defender. So you click on that and it will show you it's over to the right now on the uncommon tab. I could build a common one, but there's no real point. For me to build the uncommon one, you can see the requirements on the left. So now I would just come in and craft this if I wanted to. So I will go through and craft it just because I'd like to maybe play around with it. It would be nice to have an uncommon assault rifle. So there we have it. I built it. When you build these, though, it will roll a specific set of stats. The power level that this item is when you craft it is always going to tie into what your freelancer or your javelin level is. So for instance, I am level 7, hence I crafted a power level 7 weapon. You're going to get better, stronger weapons if you craft some of these weapons later in the game when you're level 20 or 30. So keep that in mind. So don't just craft things en masse if you don't know if you're going to like those weapons. Maybe try out an easier version or pick one up as loot before you start crafting some of them left and right. The benefits to crafting, though, is number one, you know what you're going to get. But number two, you get to re-roll the stats at the bottom. Of course, the regular stats in terms of damage, rounds per minute, the ammo and optimal range and all that stuff will pretty much be tied to the power level of the weapon and the type of weapon it is. But that bottom stat is going to be rolled every time you craft a weapon. So for instance, I got a shield increase of 45%. That's going to change if I craft another one. So if you wanted to very specifically build weapons and stuff towards your loadout, you could craft multiple weapons until you get the exact one you want. Now, it's going to take a lot of resources, but it's possible. So that's basically crafting in a nutshell. Same thing pretty much goes for the support gear and all of that other stuff. You complete the challenges and whatnot in order to get the crafting option. You can see here that I have not done so I cannot craft support gear. But if I wanted to, because I already have the frag grenade, if I wanted to craft a better frag grenade, or craft one that has a better extra stat down there, I could go through and do so. So you can see here, I won't actually go through and build it, but you can see here that I could just build another one and roll it. But that's basically it for customization and crafting. Keep in mind that if you get the blueprints for more rare, so let's say you have a blue, which is a rare blueprint, or a purple, which is an epic blueprint, it's going to require epic resources to craft it. Now, for the most part, progression isn't going to allow you to just build a masterwork weapon at level 5. There's going to be some sort of progression deal, but just keep in mind that if you are focusing on trying to get your weapons or your blueprints that are very, very rare, it's not going to be as easy in the early game. So it's good to kind of focus on a few things to build your javelin kind of the way you want it to, but don't focus too much in one area, because eventually progression will keep you from going any further. But that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And let me know if you have any thoughts or opinions on, the javelin system and the build system and all that stuff. And yeah, maybe you've gone and you've farmed up some really good stuff, and you say that maybe you should go run some strongholds or jump in the dungeons, and you're better off getting weapons that way. Some people, I think, believe that to be true. I don't know if that's a fact, but anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys again in another video. Blah!